I noticed a sign on the coast road that said the fisherman's arm was 2 miles. Then his wife Emily told her that she had seen a sign that informed that fisherman's was 2 miles away from there, and this hill was too dangerous and too narrow. Then she said, "Oh, stop, there is a child." They saw a child was there. Dr. Travers jumped on his back. A little stream ran down by the road, and half in the water lay something that looked in the dusk like a pile of clothes. Mrs. Travers was out of the car in a flash, but her husband was quicker. And all of a sudden, Dr. Travers stopped his brakes. They saw a little stream of water was there, and they saw a pile of cloths. There was something that looks like the pile of cloths. They both ran down fast. "She has been hit. Can't be more than a few minutes. Remember that truck that was overtook us half a mile back, speeding like the devil. Quick, phone for an ambulance. This girl is in a bad way. I will stay here and stop the bleeding," he said sharply. Then Dr. Travers, had asked her wife to call the ambulance because the condition of that girl was not good, and it seemed that truck had hit to that girl. Dr. Travers was able to stop bleeding, but the girl was lying in a queerly crumpled heap, and he guessed she had a number of bones broken. Now the doctor stopped her bleeding, but the girl was looking like a crushed pile, and it seemed that so many bones had been broken. Mrs. Travers was very quick, and a few minutes an ambulance was wailing down the hill. It lifted the child and the speed off to Plymouth, and Dr. Travers went to the police station to report. Then Mrs. Travers took the girl to the hospital with the help of ambulance, and Dr. Travers informed to the police station. At 9:30 that night, Aunt Rebecca Hoskins was sitting by the fire when she was startled by a neighbor who burst in exclaiming, "Have you heard about Sandy Pangeli? Poor little soul, and they don't know if she is likely to live. Police have got the truck driver." And it was a time of 9:30, and Aunt Rebecca was sitting by the fire. At that time, one of her neighbors come into her house and informed that Sandy had got an accident, and police had got the driver, but it is not sure the girl is living or not. Horrified, Aunt Rebecca went down her brother's house. She found the family with white shocked face. Bert and Jean were about to drive off to the hospital where Sandy had been taken, and the twins were crying bitterly. Lob was nowhere to be seen. Then Aunt Rebecca went to her brother's house. The condition of the family was bad. All family members were shocked. Bert and Jean were going to the hospital, and the children were shouting and crying, and there was no Lob. Lob was not seen anywhere. "Oh, if only I did never invited the poor child," wailed Mrs. Hoskell. Mrs. Hoskell exclaimed with a deep sorrow that it is only because of her. If she had not called her at her house, it would not happen. That night seemed to be last forever. The twins cried themselves to sleep. Dawn came home very late. Bert and Jean sat in a waiting room of the Western Counties Hospital, but Sandy was unconscious and there was no Lob. That night is looking so long that was not ending. The twins were crying, and finally they slept. Dawn also came late night, and Bert and Jean were in the waiting room of the hospital. Sandy was unconscious, but there was no Lob. Lob was not seen there anymore. At the next day, Dr. and Mrs. Travers went to Penchley's cottage to inquire how Sandy was doing. But the report was gloomy, still in a very serious condition. Next day, Doctor and his wife went to Penchley's house to inquire to know about the condition of Sandy, but her report was not good, not satisfied, and still that time she was in a serious condition. The Western Counties Hospital is a large one, but by that afternoon it became noticeable that a dog seemed to have taken up position outside the hospital with the fixed intention of getting in. Sometime he would get a little way inside but firmly turned out again. Sometimes the guard at the main entrance offered him a bit of sandwich, but he never ate the sandwich. Now it was the hospital. It was one of the best hospital, one of the biggest hospital, and that in the afternoon a dog was noticed there outside the hospital gate, but it was not got the chance to get in. Sometime he was stopped by the guard, sometime he was given some bread, some sandwiches, but he had not taken, but he didn't get the chance to get in. At tea time, Granny Pierce came through the pouring rain to bring a flask of hot tea to her daughter and son-in-law. And at the tea time, Granny came with the tea to meet her daughter and son-in-law. "Why, bless me!" exclaimed old Mrs. Pierce. "That's Lob here. Lob, Lobby boy!" Lob ran to her, whining. That's time Mr. Pierce saw the Lob. She became surprised and happy to see the Lob, and Lob ran to her, whining. Whining means crying, weeping. "I'm sorry, madam. You can't bring that dog in here," the guard said. Then the guard stopped and not allowed her to take this dog inside the hospital. Mrs. Pierce was very determined lady. "Now see here, young man, the dog has walked 20 miles from St. Kilon to get to my granddaughter, and he ought to have his rights. He ought to get to see her. Do you know," she went on, bristling, "the dog has walked the length of England." So children, here we see that Mrs. Pierce make an serious argument with the guard and told her that the dog had came there by walking 20 miles from the Kilon, and he told that he had the right to meet her granddaughter. Further, she told that the dog walked the length of England twice to be with that girl, and she told that the dog came there to walk the distance of England twice to meet the girl, and think you can keep him out with your fiddling rules and regulations. Then she says that it is not right to keep that dog away with her granddaughter just because of their rules and regulations. That is of no means in comparison of the love and affection of that dog and the effort of the dogs. Finally, the medical officer relented. Finally, the medical officer agreed. Relented means agreed. It is strictly against every rule, but as it's such a serious case, we are making an exception. Further, he said that it is not allowed, it is strictly against the rule, but she allowed because it was a different exceptional case. He sat to be her quietly, but only for a moment or two. So he allowed only for 1 or 2 moments. So children, I am ending this video here. Rest part we will discuss in the next video. Thank you so much.